All right, ladies, welcome to the Lunch and Learn. And don't worry, I'll be monitoring, let more people in as they come in. We have such a privilege and honor today to have the amazing Bridget. Shall I reach out to her? I know a lot of you have been reaching out and suggesting people and people you want to hear from again, or maybe you've heard from them before. I'm like, Jenny, you got to have them on this Lunch and Learn. And so one, I want to say thank you. I appreciate all the recommendations and all the time that you spend to do that. We love having everybody, every walk of life, every Mary Kay division. I think these Lunch and Learns are becoming so powerful. And so we'll get the recording out wherever you found out about it. It's probably where you'll find the YouTube recording tomorrow. If not, you're always welcome to private message me or whatever on Voxer or Facebook or whatever. We'll get those to you because some I know are new and they heard by word of mouth. I just haven't. I know there's been a request that I create a Lunch and Learn Facebook group. I just haven't done that. So I'm thinking about it. So those of you have been putting that in the chat. I heard you. I'm thinking about it. But we have the privilege of having Bridget Shaw on here today. I know many of you are going to be loading up and getting on here because you want to hear from her. You want to be inspired. It's June, and we have so many amazing things. And Bridget, I just want you to know how much I love and appreciate you for taking time, because this really is just a go give thing. It's everybody in Mary Kay. And so to take your valuable time, not just, especially in June, to do this for us. I just want you to know how much I deeply, deeply appreciate you. And I'm going to let you take it away because you're the pro, my friend. I know everyone's on pins and needles to hear from you. And I want you to be able to share whatever comes from your heart and what you feel relevant for today.
All right, that sounds great. You guys, I didn't even know you guys were doing this over here. Like, I think it's the coolest thing, a lunch and learn, to be able to share with each other. I think it's so powerful. And so I'm honored that you asked me to speak today and just to be with you. And I wasn't sure of, what I should talk about. So I really did take it to prayer. And I know that we're working, all of us, just like Jenny said, we're working to close out our best ever seminar, right? Our best ever, or we're gearing up for a 13-month seminar, 2023. Okay, so I know we've got consultants on here. I know we've got seniors and reds and brand new sales directors and seasoned sales directors. And so what I'm really saying is, at the beginning of this seminar in July 2021, we set huge, audacious goals. And some of us are closing it down. We are shutting it down. This is our best seminar ever. And some of us are thinking, I don't know how in the heck I'm gonna get there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna strategize. I'm still gonna kill June. I'm still gonna make June count, but I'm gonna make June count as though it's the first month of seminar 2023. And that's what I mean when I say, are we working with a 13-month seminar 2023? You see, I really believe that in the business that we're in, you win or you win. I mean, seriously, you cannot not win unless you just give up. That's the only way you don't win in Mary Kay. I'm really in a place right now, and I have been here for a couple of days. And I want to share with you, I am right now all about loyalty. I want you guys to start to put in the chat some of the things that you're loyal to. What are some of the things that you consider yourself to be loyal to? Just go ahead and put in the chat some of the things that you are loyal about, in your world right now. What are some of the things that you might be loyal to? Some people will say, I'm loyal to Honda cars. Okay, daily devotion. Yes, very good. Friends, nutrition, very good, very good. Family, very good, very good. Loyal to prayer, yes, very good. Loyal to my church, yes. I mean, like, you guys got some good things. Loyal to my dreams, loyal to my God. Those are all really, really, really great things to be loyal to. You can keep them coming because I'm going to read them. I'm going to read them before we get off. But I want to know, in this loyalty, like, do you know what it looks like? When I think of loyalty for me, I was really in a place where I was thinking about loyalty being like a place of commitment, loyalty being a safe place, loyalty being valuable. When I think about loyalty, those are just some of the things that I think about. I heard National Sales Director Melody Fox say once, right around the time I was entering into NIQ. Now, if you're a consultant, you know what that feels like because you're building a customer base and you have people that have promised to hold parties for you. And then, you know, they go either way. Either it's great or it's a no-show, right? And as sales directors, you know how it feels when you're building red jackets and you're working with her and then maybe she says, I changed my mind, or you hit the ball and she doesn't hit it back, right? But it was right around the time I was going into NIQ. And she said, finish the thing you said you would long after. Let me say it again. Finish the thing you said you would long after the mood you said it in is gone. Basically, she was saying, be a woman of your word. And that gripped me. It really did. The place that I'm in right now, loyalty, I'm reminiscing about it. As a gold circle national sales director, so excited about that, you guys. So, because I'm still fairly brand new, right? But as a gold circle national sales director, sometimes people are not privy to the lessons learned along the way, or some would say the setbacks. And the reason why I am just hanging on to this right now, and even in my prayer time as to what I should bring to the directors and the consultants during the lunch and learn, it was still about loyalty. And the reason why I'm hung up on this is because I've started to see people shift their goals, their desires, because maybe something didn't work out the way that they thought it should. You see, people only know or they only see the finished product. They never see the highlight reel. So as you're thinking about what it is you're going for in these next 15 days, I want you to think about that. When you look at my Instagram, you're looking at highlights. You're looking at the highlight reel. You don't actually see the backstory, if you will. See, I grew up in small town USA, and I watched my mom and dad work really hard to send us kids to college. My mom was a nurse, my dad was a longshoreman, and they both worked long hours. And we kids, we all knew what to do, how to do, when to do, and what not to do. So I knew the value of discipline when I started and came into Mary Kay. And after completing my accounting degree, I found myself employed here locally in Charleston at a company, the Robert Bosch Corporation, this automotive company. And it was supposed to be the kind of job you get, you move up, and you stay there until the end. Y'all know what I mean, right? Like womb to tomb. I didn't like it. I was full-time employed and I didn't like it. I did not like it. I didn't like going in. I didn't like getting off. I didn't like in between. No, sir. No, ma'am. I didn't like it. And I especially didn't like that first check. I did have one amazing experience though, and that was I met my husband. And we will be celebrating 30 years of marriage in December. 30 years. A couple of years ago, I was in New York with a friend and she had some friends with her. And I said, oh my gosh, I can't believe I've been with the same man for 20 years. And later my friends said, a couple of the ladies said, what's wrong with her? Because people just don't do that. So that's a future class for a later date on staying happy and fulfilled as a Christian couple in today's world. You can book me for July on that one. But we met, we got married, we purchased our first home, and we had a baby in that order. I was supposed to be living the American dream, but y'all, I hated the job. And there were pieces that I just knew I couldn't do for the rest of my life. There might be some of you on here that have great careers and you love them, and Mary Kay is just the extra. We need that because the economy is crazy. A lot of people need extra. But I'm just saying for me, I knew that that was not going to be the end for me. I didn't know what I was hating. I really didn't. I just knew, like Joel Osteen would say, right down in here, something about it was not screaming, this is it. What to call it, I didn't even know, but I knew this wasn't it. While my husband and I were on vacation with some friends, I was approached by this beautiful woman about Mary Kay Cosmetics. I want to remind y'all, when you're on vacation, work. When you are at the grocery store, work. When you're at the gas pump, work. This woman approached me when she was on vacation about Mary Kay. And y'all, I didn't wear makeup. Dove soap, Suave moisturizer. I didn't live in Texas, so I didn't know anything about Mary Kay. And I wasn't crazy about Cadillacs, more or less the iconic pink Cadillac. But I was excited about her lifestyle. You know, she was able to share things about her life without it being an interview. I was excited about the possible earning potential. She was able to share that she was making an incredible income selling lipsticks. That's what I heard. You know, sometimes I feel sorry for Kathy Alou. God chose her to demonstrate to me how it was to be a successful Christian woman. And he chose her to be my recruiter, my mentor. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to her because she worked on her vacation. And I'm so grateful to my amazing husband because he could see me getting ready. You know, like I'm a high D personality, so he could see me shifting in my seat, getting ready to tell her no, thank you, and have a nice life. And he leaned over to me and he said, I think you should try it. And you guys, this is the real that people don't see. Hang in here with me, you guys. Stay with me. This is the real that they don't see. Signed up, great first couple of weeks, went on Target from my car. Kathy comes down, you know, by this time she is visiting or whatever. You guys, listen to this. I was on Target from my car 3 times before I understood the numbers game. Invite 5 to have 1 show. I remember my neck was almost broken because I was always looking for that one guest who said she was going to come 20 times in a row. Y'all know, I didn't understand the rules of the game. Another piece of that rule that people don't remember or don't know, I was a pink Cadillac sales director, a super achiever pink Cadillac sales director. But when my husband was called to war for 15 months in Iraq, when he came back, I was a gray Grand Prix director. I had to dig this up. Y'all, I had to dig it up. I couldn't remember what they called the car, but I knew it was gray. But I was a gray Grand Prix director for a short season when he came back. Another piece that people don't know or don't remember, I had 5 offspring sales directors at one time. All of them were car drivers. And then I had none. And then I debuted one. She was a Lone Ranger for a long time. And then I eventually debuted another. So I had 2. Another piece of the reel. I was in the beginning stages of NIQ, 7 first line and 1 second line. And my home of 13 years burned to the ground. We came off of vacation, getting ready to take my daughter back for her last year of college. She calls me, I'm on my way from my Mary Kay studio, and she says, the house is on fire. And we lose absolutely everything that we owned. And then the big one, everybody can relate to this one, of course. We all witnessed the change in our world called COVID. It's just the real, you guys. I share this with you because these were the things that should have stopped me. In the middle of June, right after seminar, at the top of the new year. These things were the things that should have stopped me. These were the disappointments, the signs, people say, that's a sign, the tools that the enemy tried to use to get me to doubt what I had already planted in faith. But really, when I look at them now, because I stayed loyal to the process, they were lessons that my God put in place for me to learn and to thrive. Loyalty for us in Mary Kay is in high motion in the month of June. And it should be, because this is the time when many have to make decisions. And many of you are going to be making decisions. Like right now, it's the 16th. We've got 15 days counting today. You're making decisions towards the push. Should I push past the pain, or you're learning lessons? Will I do one more interview for that gold medal when the last 5 people have said no? Should I just give up? You got to push past the pain. You got to look at it as a lesson. Or will I do one more Zoom party just to have 2 people to show up and one of them is 12? Do I sound passionate? Do I sound like this just happened to me? Or do I keep going? Do you keep going? I want you to remember loyalty. Finishing the thing you said you would finish long after the mood you set it in is gone is your word. So here are a few things I use to help me finish. Because you have to understand, as a national sales director, I'm still working on finishing. As a national sales director, I have a unit, and that unit and I are working on finishing. And of course, I have an area of sales directors that have dreams and goals, and they too are working to finish. So this is about loyalty, which means finish. So just a couple of things that I use when I am working to finish something, especially now. I keep myself around people who are winning. You guys, you heard me say in the beginning that in Mary Kay, you either win or you win. The only way you're not winning is to decide that you're going to give up. So I decide to keep myself around people who are winning, because winning has a look, winning has a language, winning has a smell. When you call that girlfriend and you say, "Girl, what are you doing?" And she says, "Nothing, I'm just sitting here, just looking." That's not a winning attitude. Or you call a girlfriend and you say, "Girl, what's up?" And she says, "I'm on my way to the post office, but I'm dressed up real cute because I'm thinking that somebody's there who needs to hear more about Mary Kay." Stay around people who are in a winning mode. Next, be content with where you are in the present. So I'm going to tell y'all something. I was in Hawaii, and I'm telling you, it was amazing. I've never been to Hawaii, and for sure, I've never stayed at the Four Seasons. But when I tell you that it was amazing, like if you followed me on Instagram, I'm not a big poster, but I posted every day, every hour, because there was so much stuff that I needed to share. But I found myself being uncomfortable because I wasn't where I know I'm supposed to be. Like I know without a shadow of a doubt what God has called me to. And I'm not there. And I was feeling some type of way. And when I got home, I called my mentor and I said, "I just know that I'm not where I'm supposed to be." And she reminded me that it is important to be content where you are, knowing that you're on the path to where you're going. How can you be unhappy on an amazing trip, something that you've worked for, it's your life's work, and feel like you're not where you're supposed to be? Exactly. And so I want you guys to be content where you are right now. If it is your highest of highs or your lowest of lows, know that you're on the path to where you're going. Next, I want you to stay in motion, because faith without works is dead. You see, sometimes we are in the desire mode. Like, I know what I desire, I know what I'm after. We think about it, we talk about it, but we're not working towards it. And so you have to work towards your goal every single day. If it is 4 hours for directors, if it is 2 hours for consultants, you've got to work towards your goal every single day. When I worked full time and I was building my Mary Kay business, of course, I worked during the day. I came home, got dinner, settled, kids, and then I had 3 hours, 3 days a week. First, it was 1 day a week, 3 hours. And then I bumped it up to 2 days a week for 3 hours, and then 3 days a week. But those hours, those days that I said I was going to work, I made sure that I had activity, because I couldn't have the desire to become a sales director, the desire to become a red jacket, without giving it the fuel or the putting the activity in. So you got to stay in motion when you're working to be loyal. Next, I believe I said this already, but work every day towards that goal. And then I want you to see what you want before you see what you want. I tell you, debuting as a national sales director, it was something that I would wake up in the morning, I would do my devotion, and I would sit on the edge of my bed and I would visualize myself on stage, the temperature of the room, how I would feel, how my husband held my arm, how my directors looked when they graced the stage. And then I would get up and I would go about my day. I was in a Voxer group with some very good girlfriends. We're still good girlfriends today, even though we're not all on the same path, we're still tight. It was the ABCD group. And every morning we would get up and we'd say what we were going to do for the day. And when all of this was over, one that was $1 million director, one finished to 800,000, one was close to 500,000, and I finished my area. When it was all over, we were reminiscing, there's that word again, about that group. One of them said, Bridget, I remember every morning you would say, I'm getting up to go find my next director. I'm getting up to go find my next director every single day. You have to see what you want before you see what you want. And then you guys, you have to be accountable. Every day I was accountable to these women, but I also had a mentor, my recruiter, my national. I was accountable to her. Even though things weren't always the way that I wanted it, I understood that I was not in it by myself. And so if I got caught in a position where I didn't know how to handle, or if I just simply needed somebody to breathe on me, sometimes you need somebody to just believe, right? I would call her when it was good and when it was not, because I wasn't in it alone. You're not alone. You got to be accountable. I reached out to one of my consultants who was working to be a star consultant and finished last night, and she needed like $1,196. And I told her, and I said, I've got some ideas. She says, okay, I'm on it. And I reached back out to her and I said, girl, this is not something that you can do by yourself, nor do you need to. And I gave her a list of ideas for her to work from. I also want you to know what can be earned and work toward what excites you. Y'all, this is big, especially in this month of June when the company has made it so juicy. Oh my gosh, 60% off skincare, Princess Court recognition at seminar, gold medal march at seminar, all these amazing things in addition to what we're already celebrated for. But I promise you, if you don't understand the rules, you can't win. And I promise you, if you didn't find something in there that was exciting to you, if you're running on what someone else's dream is, it's going to be difficult. So you got to understand the rules. Let your director, your team leader break it down to you. Then you go in and study it and make sure you understand that you need 5 people to sign up this month. 5. Make sure that you understand that. Or directors, make sure that you understand that you have to have 4 first-time reds. 4. To get all 4 of them or 10 of them or 20 of them on that stage at seminar. But you got to understand the rules, and then you got to work towards that thing that makes you excited. Directors, this one's for you. Consultants, let me talk to directors just a moment. Let me talk to your directors, your leaders, just one moment. Directors, it is you, the new, and then the few. You, the new, and the few. Oh my goodness, when I was working to become a national, that was the hardest thing for me to understand, because it felt like my people wanted me. It felt like they wanted me to train them. It felt like they wanted me to be on the phone or a Zoom. And my national said to me, I know what they think they want, but it is not. They need you to lead by example. And so I put everything down, even though some of my people got angry with me. I laid it all down because she was the mentor. I laid it down and I started working my personal business. I started helping and building new people, and I started working with the few leaders. And we were able to go from 7 first line to 12 first line just because I decided that I was going to follow the leader. So directors, you, the new, and then the few. Model what you want to see in your people. Okay, with every lesson, every one of those disappointments, I had a choice, and you do too. You can get up and move, or you can lie down, and you surely will not win, right? You have a choice. What will you do in these next 3 corporate work weeks left in June. I know you're thinking, Bridget, we only got 15 days, but you guys, Kathy Alou was brilliant. She would always say, if you look at 2 weeks, it looks like it's just 2 weeks. But if you look at working 5 days a week on your corporate job, and you've got 15 days left in the month, you can look at Mary Kay for June. You can do anything for June. For the next 3 weeks, 5 corporate work weeks, you can do something in your business to get where you want to go. Every day counts. Every day. All of our dreams are attached. Like, I'm looking forward to somebody coming up to me at seminar and saying, I met you on Lunch and Learn, and here I am. I'm looking forward to seeing somebody on stage or in the Applause magazine or on the screen that I get a chance to say, wow, she was on Lunch and Learn. Remember, the word says, as iron sharpens iron. So that means that you are to show up sharp. As iron, it's the iron and the iron, right? It's not the iron and the straw, it's the iron and the iron. So does a friend sharpen a friend, right? Here it is, you guys. It really does take every piece of the puzzle as we're rocking this thing out, every piece to complete the puzzle. And you know, some pieces have little janky, edgy pieces, and some of them are real fat pieces, and you just know it's got a big old piece of the, you can just, oh, that's the picture. Oh, you can just put that right there. You know that's in the middle. And then one little crazy piece, you don't know where it goes. You can't throw it away, because if you do, the puzzle isn't complete. So every piece of the puzzle is necessary. Everything that is going to happen, it is necessary that every one of us wins. Every piece matters, no matter the size. I believe y'all said this was Lunch and Learn. Lunch and Learn. So I'm going to leave you with this, because lunch is usually 30 minutes. Find out what the ordinary people are doing and don't do it. Kathy Alou would scream that to me all the time. Find out what the ordinary people are doing and don't do it. And I'm telling you, sometimes you have to think about that a couple of times. And if you find yourself doing something and everybody else is there, maybe you don't need to do it. It's just that simple. You find out what the successful people are doing. You find out what the winners are doing, and you run that path. It's that simple, and I promise you, you will enjoy. So if I have time, I am open to questions as I sift through the chat and see if we had anything.
I think we always have time. I tell them we just keep this on as long as people want to. So if any of you have a question, or I don't want to affirm Bridget with something that you took away, I literally have goosebumps all over my body. Janae.
Oh my goodness. National Bridget Shaw. You were one of my speakers at my new director training a few years ago. And you did it for me then, and you've done it for me again today. And I'm so glad that God had you right here today for me to hear you, for my girls that are on this call to hear you. It's so funny because even through the years, like me and Kayla don't know each other yet, but we besties. Like we're almost like the same. I think we are the same age. Our birthdays are a little bit apart. I'm 28, and I'm like, girl, you don't know me yet, but we besties. Like, cause we gonna be doing this thing. Like I've seen, and I know where I'm going, and I just want to thank you for just being real, being authentic, and letting God use you today, because you spoke to me in my heart. So thank you.
Good. Thank you, Janae. Thank you.
I'm gonna go through the screen, so wave at me or something, or unmute if you girls need me. I know some of you just have your pictures on because you're probably on lunch break.
So Bridget, I thank you first of all, and our unit is about 43,000 away from doing 300,000. We have about 80 unit members, and I am doing all kinds of strategies to get to that, especially using the 60% off. So I'm not giving up, but it does look like a very big climb. Any suggestions?
Yes, 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 yes. Remember the first thing I said, and I believe I'm talking to Sandy Cook, right? Yeah. The first thing I said was I stay around people that are winning. And so what I would do is, who in this Go Give or Mary Kay world has had a huge goal like that of $45,000 that they needed to finish in 3 corporate work weeks? Y'all remember that really means 15 days. And then you need to get with them. You need to get with them and you need to pick their brain and get some ideas as to what they did to finish that. What I right off the bat think of when I think of that amount of production is, number one, everybody who's a part of the team needs to know. Everybody needs to know what we're working for. And then you need to look at red jacket teams and put those red jacket teams into like a friendly competition. Like right now, my number one has been number one the entire year. But my number two was nowhere on the scoreboard. She was nowhere. But she had an offspring that debuted in 2 months, and she's about to finish. That offspring is about to finish her equinox, and so is that offspring. And so that offspring is now number two. She came from out of nowhere, number two. And as soon as the seminar year ends, she's got 25,000 points. She'll be number one. But number one, number two, and number three are in a race. So that's what I'm saying, because they want to be number one, but it's also making our area win. If you've got 1, 2, 3, 5 red jackets, you can create an opportunity for them to spend time with you at your home. Or you can create an experience for them, in your city doing something fun. But it would be for the red jacket team that produces the most in the month of June. The red jacket team that has the most gold medals in the month of June. But it would be about that red jacket team, about creating an experience, but then also having the wholesale and the recruiting attached to it. And then for the people that are left, I would then create teams. It doesn't have to be a red jacket team, but someone who's a superstar at selling, someone who's a superstar at recruiting. And I would break them into teams, and I put maybe 5 or so on a team, or 10, just depending on how large your unit is. And then what I would do is I would give them the same challenge. So now you've got the red jacket teams and you've got these individual teams working for wholesale and the recruiting. And then that should give you a certain amount. And from that amount, you got to look at how many new people you got, and you got to work to make sure that you get everybody Great Start qualified or better. But the first thing I would do is find someone in this MK Go Give area that has done this. And then, take what I've given you and add to it. Okay?
Thank you.
Absolutely. Nobody talking to me? Excellent. Thank you.
I just want to know, first of all, you are super duper fabulous. And I want to know, what was your very...
Okay, am I going out or is she going out, y'all? She's going out. Okay, talk again because I can't hear you.
I'm so sorry. I think you are super duper fabulous. And I want to know, what was your very favorite thing about being on a Hawaiian trip, Mary Kay?
Okay. All right, who am I talking to? Because for whatever reason, it did not light up.
Oh, hi, this is Lynn Burns. I'm in Springfield, Missouri.
Hi, Lynn. Hi, Lynn. The best part about Hawaii really was my husband. you know, not having to pull out his wallet, not one time. That was the best part. And then he is Army. He's an Army guy. He just retired, and he wanted to go on these UTV ride. You know, it's a buggy that holds 4 people. And I'm telling y'all, my face was dirty, my teeth were dirty, but he enjoyed it so much. That was really the best part. And then the girlfriends, you know, I had an opportunity to spend time with some people that I really love and admire. And then he had some husbands to pull him in. And so he's made some friends. So it would definitely be the relationships for me and the family for me. But I have to tell you, I'm driven by the money that I can earn in my Mary Kay business. And, you know, I was walking in my backyard today. Oh, so peaceful. And the weather was so beautiful. I already told you guys that. And it's about legacy. It's about leaving something for generations to come. And I'm so grateful that Mary Kay allows me to name that. Remember I said that I didn't know what to call it when I was at Bosch. I just knew I didn't like it. I knew I didn't like it, but I didn't know what to call it. I didn't know what to hate. But now at this season in my life, I know what it's called. So those were the things that I really enjoyed being able to see. I'm telling y'all, I'm just going to tell you, you do whatever you got to do to win. I'm serious, y'all. Serious. Oh my gosh. When my daughter was 1 and I was building my business, I paid a girl in my neighborhood $20 to watch her for 3 hours. Okay. That was a lot of money. Kayla's 27. That was a lot of money back then. But I paid her that because I wanted her to stay. And I knew that if I could pay her more than most babysitters were making, that I wouldn't have to keep looking for someone. And she came to my home. And when I got home, Kayla was in the bed. I didn't have to try to cook or clean, or she was in the bed that one day. And so that was the one thing I needed to do. When I went into NIQ, I wanted my family to eat good, but I couldn't do it because I was traveling and doing things. So I hired a chef. She was fresh out of culinary school, fresh out. And she came to my house and she would prepare meals for my family. And they got an opportunity to eat well, healthy. I remember one day we were sitting down and Kayla said, all these years I thought you could cook. It wasn't until she experienced the chef that she knew that her mama was a fixer. So those were the things that I really, really enjoyed about the trip.
Amazing. Amazing. Anybody else? I'm looking real quick.
Hey, National Bridget, thank you so much for today and that hope and loyalty. If you can speak to the DIQs that is on here today, that it doesn't matter what it looks like, what would you tell those DIQs in the middle of the month and their team is kind of like, we're trying to push, what would you say to them for them to keep going, keep pushing to get the month finished strong?
Yes, for DIQs, for trip directors, Cadillac directors, everybody who's working on something seriously. You don't know the how, the in between. You don't need to know. But once you got confirmation, which is what you got when you entered the process, once you've got confirmation, all you have to do is continue to walk towards it. So what I'm saying is, in this process of DIQ, and you're building people, all you need to know is who's the next interview, and who's the next interview, and who's the next interview, and when am I talking to her about inventory, and when am I holding her launch party? Can I do 3 launch parties together? Can we sit down and talk to her husband? You need to be in motion during this DIQ period and understand that it is done. You can't sit and worry because there's no motion behind it. And so faith without works is dead. I would say for a DIQ, it is most important to have as many people on your team as possible and to make sure that you are finishing your unit with 3 reds, 1 a DIQ and 2 are red jackets of some sort. So that when you're done in July, you're happy, you're excited, you're still working, and you've got someone that's in DIQ, so she's still working, and you got two reds of some sort that could be on target or working to get into DIQ. But it really is the activity or the inactivity that can make this thing go either way. I love to read, y'all, and I tell you, most of the time it's just God's word. A lot of time it's a positive thinking book, because it's a battle when you are looking at In Touch, right, Jennifer? You're looking at In Touch, and it says that you still need 20,000, or Sandy, I think it was 46,000, and you know that this is supposed to be done. You know it is. You don't know how. So what do? You keep interviewing. You keep going over the marketing. You keep talking to those people that want to. We're in a great place. Some people just finished their STAR last night. And guess what? Everybody should be getting on target for the next STAR these next 15 days. Everybody. So we're in a really good place for people to have great opportunities to set goals. Great opportunities. I had someone today, I was talking to her early this morning, and I text her because she was working on finishing her STAR, and then nothing. It didn't happen. So I text her and I said, I just want you to know how important you are to this puzzle. I want you to know that your loyalty matters to me. And I want you to know that I saw how hard you work. And even though it did not come together, you are an amazing team player. And then she called me, because this is a text. She called me and she thanked me for believing in her. And she said, and it didn't come together, so I just decided I'm going to start working on next year. And I said, exactly. Next year starts today. She said, what do you mean? I said, this is a brand new quarter. It was like I gave her a piece of candy and she was 2 years old, because she was thinking July, right? As leaders, consultants, DIQs, directors, as leaders, because I promise you, this Lunch and Learn is open for everybody to be a part of. But I promise you, only leaders get on. I promise you. Only the leaders at whatever level will get on to invest in themselves, to hear one more time something that can take me to the next level. Every one of us, when they hear our voices, when they're in our presence, they get that one thing that they need that can take them to the next level, and then the next, and then the next. Okay.
Oh my gosh, I don't know if everybody else has chills like I do today, like goosebumps all over. I think so many, I keep reading the chat, so many needed to hear what you had today. I know when Bridget asked, she's like, what do you want me to train? I'm like, I don't know. I let whoever's talking, just let God, I just feel like God works that out. Every week, I feel like train on what you feel passionate about or what's important to you, because I feel like, I don't know, he sorts it out every week. It just happens to be what people need. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart to take time to pour into everybody in the Mary Kay world, because that's really what she wanted, right? She wanted us to share with each other. And oh, I can't wait for all of us to come back to you and say, we did it. We did it. We crossed the finish line. And so thank you so much, National Bridget Shaw, and everybody for being on today. I love seeing all the beautiful faces. And I promise you, as soon as the recording's done, we'll get it on YouTube, because I know you want to get this out. I'm sure you're all thinking like I am, like 20, 30 people that need to hear this today that weren't on, and we'll get this out for everybody ASAP. Thank you for joining. I appreciate all of you. Have a great Thursday.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Hey,
Thank you guys so much.
I see you, baby. Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, National.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you, ladies.